IIT Kanpur has a first mover advantage. Okay, so that's at least in this sector in India. Okay, and as I said, it's a very fast growing sector, and it has interdisciplinary needs, and that's why there are institutes which focus to this. So, for example, there is IUCA, but they are very narrow. You won't find a mechanical engineer there or a chemical engineer there, right? But in space technology, all of them come together. So an IIT is just the right place to incubate such a thing. Okay, and well, I already mentioned two challenges. The two challenges, and I'll stop there. I think I just taken exactly 16 minutes. Yes, you can.
I would just like to say that, of course, I'm here as an alumni spouse.
Okay.
But my dad also went to IIT Kanpur. He was in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. He did a subject. He went on to do his PhD here as well. And right after that, he got into ISRO.
Okay.
And his last post was Scientific Secretary, Department of Space.
Okay.
He was posted in US as well. So he would have been very happy to see this thing, because that's his.
We would be very happy to engage with him. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. But
He died in an accident on his way to a rocket launch.
Okay.
Yeah. So just wanted to say that he would be very happy.
Okay. Thank you. So anyway, so the floor is open. As I said, now I forget that I am standing here. Whatever questions you may have, comments you may have, what you would like it to be. As I said, it's an ongoing experiment. It's a vision that has not, every department is categorized, mechanical, chemical, so this is not categorized. Yes?
So do you have another, let's say, benchmark department as well, which you can emulate?
Not in India.
No,
Yes, there are. So for example, as I said, Cornell has astronomy. Okay. It caters to galaxies, to Mars. The Mars rover mission, one of those missions came from Cornell. Okay. So internationally there are, but not in India.
IIT Kanpur is first into this thing.
Yes.
What's the role of Indian Institute of Astrophysics in Bangalore?
Yeah, so they are into developing detectors or small payloads. But if I ask them to talk about spacecraft technologies, or if I ask them to explain a feature on the moon, that's not what they do. They have a very narrow focus. So as I mentioned, there are many such departments which have narrower focus, but nothing under the same roof.
Vishal, there is a lot of VC money going in startups in space tech. Does IIT Kanpur collaborate with this?
Yes, so that's an excellent question. So the thing is, if a VC wants to give you money, he also wants to see how much you have. We have planted a seed. It is still not even a sapling. Until you are big enough, the VC won't park any money there. And we have tried. For example, one of the bigger companies, Anant Aerospace, and the head chap over there came here, and he said, we have many things for you to do, but that requires some basic infrastructure. Now space, even the basic infrastructure is not cheap. Okay. For example, in mechanical engineering, we have something called an ultimate tensile, universal tensile machine, UTM. You pull things, or compress things. Here you have to do it at very low temperatures and very high temperatures. A cryo UTM is that much more expensive. Okay. Even maintaining it is expensive. But Ananta Aerospace would be interested if we have certain such facilities built up. So opportunity is there. Yeah. That they were very excited, but little gap we have to fill.
You mentioned that funding is a requirement. What's the funding outlay?
The funding outlay we see is something close to 20-30 crores to begin with. Spread over 2-3 years, 4 years. Again, you see, in space you can keep on putting money, it will keep eating money. But the way I look at it is that with about, let's say if we begin with 10 crores, then with 10 crores we have enough to find money on our own. Right? As I said, once you water the plant enough, it will find its own water. Okay.
What's that critical mass?
Critical mass in terms of funding or in terms of funding? In terms of funding, I think 10 crores would be a good place to start. But 10 crores, again, I have to think in terms of whether I am going to put it inside a corpus or I am going to use half of it for expenditure today and half of it for a rainy day. Okay, so those numbers I have to work out. Then I increase 10 crores a little further. But 10 crores is a good number to start.
For research or for actually
Equipment, I am not talking research. As I said, if I have to, as I said, I don't want to be dependent on funding. I want to generate my own funding. But I have to get some critical infrastructure together. Once I have that, then I can approach VCs and other companies in space tech industry confidently and say, look, I'll do this for you. Right?
But how is the VC?
Sorry? There was a question here.
No, I can see you partly you answered. So I was going to ask, like, is this you're going to do only the design, or you are getting into getting the infrastructure and collaborate with like all the manufacturers to get everything in place to get the real work?
Yeah, we would like to, as I said, we would like to develop the detector here. Not a prototype, not an example in a lab. This is the one which will be flown.
What is your challenge or in terms of getting faculty? Given that you're calling it still an experiment.
Yeah, the challenge are twofold. One, the number of people who are created, for example, number of people who are created in this sector in India is almost not there because this doesn't exist. So you have to attract them from abroad, right? Now when they come from abroad, they want to match, compare you with something like NASA, right? Okay, now NASA works very closely with universities. ISRO less so. It's becoming better and better. So again, I was telling somebody, the seed grants that we give are not comparable. Okay, now if you're in the space sector, it's fast moving. You have an idea today, you want to implement it. You don't want to wait 3 years till you have raised enough money to do the experiment you imagined 3 years ago. It's done and over with. Okay. So the challenge is, one is the number of people being produced is small, and even those who are produced need to be attracted to us by enough,
Can't ISRO send people on sabbatical?
They can, and we have actively explored that, and we do have some. For example, we have a scientist who is working at ISRO who is expert in antenna, and he's here, and he's here for 5 years as professor practice. So that is something we are actively doing. So we do that, but again, these people are here for a short time. We can't use them as support system for an undergraduate program. Right? So research is going on. But undergraduate program, you need people here because you can't play with course होगा कि नहीं होगा, नहीं वो तो चला गया. We don't want to launch it today. We were supposed to launch it 25. We have pushed it. We will launch it when we are ready. The reason for UG program is the students are really excited about space. I mean, you see Elon Musk recapturing a rocket. And he told us, sir, I want to work in this. Yes. When we land up here, I don't know how true it is for everybody. I think it's true for most of us. We were just given a branch based on our rank. And after 2-3 years, they realized actually what I want to do is that. Right? And a lot of them turns out want to do space. In my first year here, I had several CSE students who were taking my course in orbital mechanics. And I want to go to NASA, that's what he said. Okay. So I know that the UGs love this stuff. Okay. And that's one of the reasons we want to go to a UG faster than perhaps you may advise. But we will be very careful. We don't want to mess it up.
Two questions here. One, will you build a launch facility here?
No launch facility. Launch facilities,
Not even a small one?
I don't think so, because that sector is not clear. Space sector is controlled by government. So they will not allow anybody or any person to launch something. Even UAVs, for example. Now there is a very tight policy on how large a UAV you can actually launch.
So, but not even model rocketry?
Model rocketry is not a very launch facility, right?
Somewhere between 5-foot rocket who are looking at 20.
Yeah, so that they are doing. IIT Bombay has a very active rocket combustion stuff. The problem becomes that in rocket you have to handle combustible material. You need active clearances, right? You need to maintain such facility. You need to have a training program for that, right? And ultimately, go whichever way you get, all of this, everything will come down to Lakshmi. So maintain such a thing, you need to do that, right? So I can't answer that. In a sense, right? Fund me enough, I can have a bigger facility. Don't fund me another smaller facility.
So the second question I had was the point of government India controlling this. So this is
क्या हुआ? Mic on है.
now ask ऐसी बोल देता mentioned that government India controls things like launch facilities. This is all mixed use technology, right? So are there problems with actually having an active research program which overlaps both with civilian use and military use?
Not so far, but I can give you an example where it was a problem. Nuclear technology. So IIT Kanpur was one of the first institutes to have a very active nuclear technology program, and it could never really break through because people were nervous about sanctions coming to a university for having it. Yeah, so, but I think such fears are misplaced. There are enough number of universities across the world which have a very active, as just mentioned, very active similar department. To have one in India, I don't see a problem for that.
Sure, how can qualifiers in the room help you on the funding side?
Well, that's a very good question, I guess. You will decide whether you want to take it. So we are running a campaign, for example, for the space department. You can look it up. I think they will be giving out certain mementos, and there are some QR codes we can explore it.
Sure.
Yes.
Have you considered collaborating with universities like Cornell?
Nobody wants to collaborate with the weakling. That's how it is. If I have finite amount of time and I can collaborate with Oxford and I can collaborate with IIT Kanpur, I'll collaborate with Oxford. So again, you have to make it worth their life. If you want to attract industry to UP, you make it worth its life by levying taxes, giving that free to something. So again, there you will need some help from government. On its own, I don't imagine.
I mean, much of the story around ISRO and how it does and how it does, CP and all that, so on would go on and very eloquent about the fact that while ISRO has a role, so have a lot, the entire ecosystem of companies, they name companies.
Ananda Aerospace is actually created by ISRO employees. Yeah. That is true. The fallout effects of such is.
Search for
Search for ET is actually there is a branch called cosmology, which is there, and part of their thing is search for ET. Yes. But in what I understand is if you have been in UP, ET is not going to surprise you.
So you mentioned earlier the vision is to be more practical, like lab oriented.
Absolutely.
What kind of lab will you design for something like this?
So we have some, I switched off. So we are designing, we are trying. So one of the people who was visiting us was actually the principal investigator for a mission, for a payload in the AstroSat mission. AstroSat is one of the most successful missions by ISRO. Okay, and they created a 1:1 completely working model for this payload, and that working model is still here. They flew something else, so we want to get that housed here, and students can use it. This is a real payload. Okay, but that's a good thing to do. But to make it, we need to have a temperature control chamber designed for a particular environment. But the labs we are creating are going to be of that level, where we will actually work with things which are going to be flown, not simulations of those.
Outside of exploration,
Yes.
can you expand on what are the commercial uses?
The commercial use, one of the things is communications, right? So the problem with communication is solar wind, right? Now India doesn't really have anything to inform us that where our satellites are and how they are going to be affected by solar wind. That is a sector we can get into, and that will be a very advantageous sector. Okay, what else can I say? Manufacturing. Okay, there are many critical manufacturing techniques which are perhaps done better if they are done in orbit. Okay, gravity may be affecting a manufacturing process in a bad way, but there is no such. Sorry to mention, IIT Madras really in some senses has had this idea about manufacturing in orbit. Okay, but they are not, as I said, they have not progressed so far. but that is one way in which you can help the manufacturing industry. You have to refine some very critical elements. Don't do it here, do it in space. So if you have your own, what's it called, space lab, do the refinement there. It's a very far out idea, but space is all about far out. Yes, excellent question. So we have an aerospace engineering department and we have an earth science engineering department, right? So we were asked this question. Okay, so what is the big deal about space? So we said aerospace. Have you seen this movie called Cobra? Who has seen Cobra? I don't know the movie. So the comment is, this is where the law stops and I start. Okay, that was the. So that's how we define space department. It's where aerospace stops. So they go up at most nowadays to spacecraft. Actually, they don't do spacecraft. What they end up doing is mostly UAVs and aircraft, but nothing on satellite. Earth science is all about the Earth.
Ishan, so you may have a requirement for some funding.
Yes.
X amount. Let's say you get like 1/3 of that.
Yes.
So is there some particular problem which you think is a difficult problem, but this department got expertise, like if you work on that area, you'll be able to attract attention of the government, ISRO.
There are many such projects.
So are you thinking about like let's focus on that, get some traction, get some
I
attraction?
have a pet product, which is manufacturing, but manufacturing in space. For example, can you use whatever is available on the moon to make structures on the moon? Don't carry anything from here. But on the moon, you only have sand, lunar regolith. You have no water and you have no power. What can you do with it? Okay. Even Harappa was better off. It had water. Okay. So that's a challenge. And if we can solve that problem, and that is a problem which this department can address because we have mechanical engineering, civil engineering all around us. So even if we don't have in-house capabilities, we can reach out. There was a question in the back, sorry. No, there was a question there. Yeah, go ahead.
नहीं लगेगा ना क्योंकि इनका चल रहा है क्वेश्चन यहीं से चल रहा है ये तो इसमें आते रहा नहीं कुछ आते रहा नहीं इसमें कुछ हटा नहीं वो आएगा एक सेकंड मारेगा स्लीप मोड में
There's a mic right next to it. Mic next to
पूरे
it. Mic.
IIT Madras getting their funding from for similar projects, and the third part is once now say you get your seed funding or whatever the basic funding required 10 crores, 50 crores, whatever the number you quote, what is the plan for sustainability there? How are you going to continue to get those funds? You said you'll be approaching people who would probably fund you. Who are those, and what is our links with them today?
Okay, so I can answer. The UG program, I thought I answered. There is no rush to offer a UG program, but the UGs have, let's say, they are willing to take a lot more risk, and this is a risky sector. They are less worried about their job opportunities after a PhD degree, because they know there is still life before they are too old. So that's one reason, and the UGs come from all directions. MTechs will come only, there will be fewer in number. Now suppose I want to do something in material science, in space. Maybe there is a material science BTech over there who will come and work with me. Getting a guy who comes to space department to become interested in material science is much harder. So that's the reason to have a UG program. The second question was, how is IIT Madras getting this funding? So the reason is because they were able to get something called Institute of Eminence, which got them 600 crores. And what IIT Madras very smartly did was it partitioned the 600 crores into blue sky research. And they funded 100 of such, and then slower. First round 100 blue sky research projects. Next round 100 was filtered, the 20 best performing of 100, and so on and so forth. And that is how they were able to really give money to something which is far out. That's IIT Madras. Third question was, once we reach seed funding, I'll tell you. Suppose I was able to purchase a UTM which can work at very low temperatures and a very high temperature. Defense, space sector, everybody needs to test materials at those states. just from consultancy the department earns money. Just by testing, just by having that equipment is a way to keep the wheels of the department turning. Okay, it is not fashionable and it is not where it's hard engineering. Okay. Every day I do get requests. There is a parachute factory here, they'll come to me and say, the Russians gave us this piece of cloth with the parachute, I want to know how it is, what the strengths are, can you test it for? So they have to require. So take another question here. You can use both the chain whenever you want.
You mentioned that I've been across this status as the Institute of Eminence. Can you expand more upon that?
I will suggest you ask it from the next. I'm a theoretician. I'm converting myself, not fully converting.
You're getting a check.
Might be a bit hard, but if I'm thinking of
Yeah.
so other than our emotional impact,
Yeah.
what's the value proposition? Government does something to attract. What's the value proposition
For doing this in Kanpur, well, Kanpur is doing. Nobody else is doing. IIT Madras has parked money, but not people. They don't have a department. The person who is doing extraterrestrial manufacturing is a manufacturing engineer of space. I have ideas. Okay, so the value proposition is that we already have a set of people who know the stuff. Okay, and we have been able to create this collection from a diverse background. I am a mechanical engineer in that department. The head of the department is a physicist. The next head is an astronomer. There's a cosmologist. There's an electrical engineer sitting over there. That we haven't managed to create yet. They may, but so far they haven't. That's the first mover advantage. You lose it very soon if you don't move.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such an engaging session. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Silver Jubilee reunion of class of 1999. I, Shweta Kumar, your host for this morning, would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Professor Manindra Agarwal, Director IIT Kanpur, and the entire institute community. Today marks the 25th reunion of the class of 1999, a truly significant occasion. It also brings me immense joy to share that we recently celebrated 65 glorious years of Institute's foundation. I would now like to request Professor Amay Karkare, Dean of Resources and Alumni, to kindly come forward and be seated on the dais. Requesting Mr. Damneesh Kumar, Batch Coordinator, Class of 1999, to take his seat on the stage. Requesting Mr. Atul Kumar, Batch Representative of the Class of 1999, to kindly take his seat on the stage. I would now request Mr. Damneesh Kumar to kindly come forward and pay tribute to the departed soul of Mr. Tamir Ranjan Chatterjee, followed by 1 minute of silence.
Hey guys, Tamir was my wingmate. He was one of the bright and ever smiling guy. Left too early to us. So the Tamir, wherever you are, I hope you are at peace. You would be always there in our memories and the stories. Can I request for a minute silence to everyone, and if you can stand up, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, reunion is not about counting the number of years. Rather, it's about reliving and cherishing memories and time to be grateful for the beautiful journey you had as a student of IIT Kanpur. Time may have zoomed by, but I can still sense the youthful spark alive in this group. So why don't we begin today by reliving our old days and becoming rowdy students once again? Shall we? Okay, so may I ask you to just stretch your hands forward and then cross it and clasp it. Maybe you are doing it the other way, just flip it. And then just flip it. Welcome to the 25th reunion of class of 1999. With this, I request you to clap 3 times and at the count of 3 and then shout 25 as loud as you can. Shall we? 1. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. That was good. But I was told that the alumni of this batch have come all the way from Dubai, Singapore, Japan, UK, USA, Australia. And there were many who planned but couldn't make it. So let this voice reach them. Let's shout 25 once again. At the
1, 2, 3.
Thank you, thank you. Let me take you on a short trip down the memory lane. 29 years ago, around 300 young boys and 7 girls from across India decided to embark on a challenging journey away from the comforts of their home, all the way to a destination once named Kanpur, now named Kanpur, to be part of this prestigious institute called IIT Kanpur. As you arrived with your personal baggage, the institute welcomed you with open arms, and it offered you a unique package, a package comprising of prestigious foundation, integrity, pride, and an enduring, unbreakable bond. सारे जवाब देने गूगल तो अभी आया है, असंभव को संभव आईआईटी ने करके दिखाया है. कहते हैं, इंस्टीट्यूट है अनेक, दिल्ली, मुंबई, मद्रास, खड़गपुर, पर आईआईटी है सिर्फ एक, आईआईटी कानपुर. आईआईटी का टेम्पो, आईआईटी का टेम्पो, I'll come to that. चाय कुछ 1.5 रुपए की थी, विल्स का पैक 10 रुपए का और ओल्ड मॉन्क्स 80 रुपए की. 5 रुपए में हम रिक्शे से आईटी गेट से हॉस्टल तक पहुंच जाते थे और मैगी 2 रुपए में मिल जाती थी. It was an era of Coolie number 1 Govinda, Khans, Karishma, Kajol and 1, 2, 3 Queen Madhuri. DDLJ, बड़े मियाँ छोटे मियाँ, राजा हिंदुस्तानी, Coolie number 1, बीवी number 1, दिल तो पागल है, वह blockbusters. Whether it was mimicking Govinda's colorful clothes or attempting Mithun's iconic disco dancer moves, Govinda and Mithun Club were 90s big hits. Famous restaurants in the campus was Sia. And 2 co-places in the city were Crazy Foods, Gharelu Bar, Treat, Makhan Singh, Thagu Ke Laddu. Any more? MT ki chai was always special. And the famous jargons at Adda Point were Chapu, Maggu, Telu, Lassu and Pakyat. The most prominent buildings of the campus were L7, Faculty Building, Library, Old SAC, Computer Center and Saiki Tanki. Cricket match would bring cricket lovers together in the TV room. Sachin Tendulkar batting brought cheers in the room, whereas his wicket down would bring hours of mourning and drinking. आपने जगह जगह बनारसी पान और चौरसिया पान तो देखा व सुना ही होगा, यूपी में खासकर, लेकिन कैंपस की गलियों में तो तिलकधारी तिवारी पान का खाता ही चलता था. Movies in L7 on Saturday and Sunday night were a major attraction. And now, how does it feel sitting here? The most common phrase during the movie time was
Audio. Once more.
repeat and focus. The rivalry between Hall 2 and Hall 3 was a constant source of amusement. From cultural festivals and sports to creative gali competition during blackouts to stealing fuses and even competing for maximum visibility in the girls' hostel, the battle of supremacy knew no bounds. Hall 2 Hall 3 पर अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी की 2 पंक्तियां याद आती हैं. कौरव कौन, कौन पांडव, टेढ़ा सवाल है, दोनों ओर फैला शकुनी का कूट जाल है. कहते हैं मंदिर में अगर बंदर आए तो हनुमान जी आए हैं. ये इस कनेक्शन के बारे में तो सबको पता है, लेकिन गॉड नोज एलुमनाई मीट और तेंदुए का क्या है कनेक्शन. पिछले 3 साल से हर बार इस समय आ जाता है विदाउट एनी इन्विटेशन. होगा उसका आप लोगों के साथ कोई पुराना अफेक्शन है क्या? Just wanted to let you know that leopard is moving around the campus, so just be alert and careful while roaming in campus, especially at night. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an honored batch to see Mr. T.N. Seshan, Jagjeet Singh, Ghulam Ali, Romeo Fernandez, Chan and Sagarika to visit the campus during this stay. A studious batch to still remember the electrifying lectures of Professor Bilu Bhatia, Professor P.G. Fernandez, Professor Shobha Madan, Professor R.C. Malhotra, Professor Prabhat Munshi, Professor Rajat Mona, Professor Sudhir Jain, Professor Kalyan Banerjee, Professor Om Prabhakash, Professor Padmanabhan, and more. This batch went for the industrial tour. This batch went for the industrial tour to Bhilai Steel Plant, Mumbai, Pune, Goa. Goa? Industrial tour? I see. I would like to know the companies in Goa. A sport-loving batch who dared to compromise on the quiz to watch the 1996 World Cup cricket, in which India reached semi-finals and lost miserably against Sri Lanka. Of course, the love for cricket didn't go unnoticed, especially by professors, costing them grades and raised eyebrows. A dynamic batch that transformed hostel beds Nivar Ke Palang into a full-fledged soap factory for a galaxy competition. That soap factory was not just a masterpiece, it was a testament of the Jugaad spirit ingrained in the bat's DNA. भाई लेटा है, माचिस है क्या? लाश जलाना है. How many of you remember this? This was a notorious batch. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a notorious batch who played pranks like this and much more. I think most of you were also victimized by Langur ka atank. Who was the Langur? And last but not least, a blessed batch. Because 300 लड़कों में 2 ही लड़के काबिल निकले, as 2 girls chose their life partners here. But wait, there is more. The batch didn't just stop at life partnerships or romantic partnerships. Oh no. They leveled up and gave us something bigger. Maximum business partnerships. These brilliant minds laid the foundation for startups, ventures, and collaborators that are thriving today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for these visionaries, innovators, and CEOs who not only cracked codes and aced exams, but also cracked the code to success and teamwork. A big round of applause for the class of 1999. would now call upon some of the unique nicknames of the batch. I kindly request those who are here today to acknowledge by raising their hand. Bacha. PK.
दोनों पीके बाकी सब दोनों पीके आए हैं
तबला
प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं
बलिया चाचा गन्ना गन्ना चुन्नू घोड़ा चेतक माइकल पारो Sanda. 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 Or is it sand? Makhan. Ashish Anand. Dammu. Mango. Baba. GP.
वो सांडा दोबारा
I think Sanda is here. Sundar Bacha. Golu. Atumato. Thank you. We have also come up with few reunion titles. Request you to all kindly guess. Ramanujam of the batch. Mr. Amay Pitale. I request Mr. Amay Pitale to please stand up so that we can hear. Sant Kabir of the batch. Mr. Vivek Singh. Library का चौकीदार.
लाइब्रेरी में रहता हूँ
Mr. Shivesh Kumar Suman and Professor Akash Anand. Lost and found in Girls Hostel in GH. Mr. Shobnik Makul. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all I have from the treasure of memories of the class of 1999. I hope I got my facts right. I would like to conclude by two lines on friendship. दोस्ती में कर्ज कभी ड्यू नहीं होता और दोस्तों में कभी MOU नहीं होता. So on this beautiful day, let's all remember to laugh, cherish friendship, share fond memories, and make new memories that we can talk about in our next reunion. I would now like to request Professor Amay Karkare, Dean Resources and Alumni, to kindly address the gathering.
क्विज हो जाएगी अभी
We have one girls alumni, lady alumni, who has come from the batch. Her name is Priyanka. I would request her to kindly please stand up, ma'am. Miss Priyanka.
कहाँ है प्रियंका?
The alumna of class.
वो बाहर गई अभी.
Oh, she just left. I'll request Professor Karkare to continue. Miss Priyanka, the alumna of the batch who has joined today, please give her a big round of applause. And ma'am, I request you to kindly stand up. There were only 7 girls and you were the one.
So it's difficult to be formal here. नहीं होए बट कोशिश नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन ड्यूटी है, थोड़ा निभा रहे हैं और ज़रूरी भी है क्योंकि कई लोगों से मिलते हैं तो जवाब ये होता है कि अरे आईआईटी इतना बदल गया है, आईआईटी में ये भी हो रहा है। जैसे कि आज सुबह भी देखा कि नए डिपार्टमेंट्स आ गए हैं, नई बिल्डिंग्स आ गई हैं और बहुत से एक्टिविटीज़ की, कई लोग तो ये बोले 25 साल बाद पहली बार आ रहे हैं इंस्टीट्यूट, सो विच काइंड ऑफ फील्स बैड, क्योंकि हम लोग चाहते हैं कि आप लोग हर साल आएँ, जब भी कानपुर आएँ, आसपास आए, यहाँ पे आएँ। सो आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक लिटिल बिट अबाउट द काइंड ऑफ एंगेजमेंट एक्टिविटीज़ आईआईटी कानपुर डज विद एलुमनी. Okay. And I said, it is difficult to be formal with couple of batches before your batch and couple of batches after your batch, because the relationship is like always like brothers and those brothers sisters. जैसे हमारे यहाँ चिकलू के लिए कहा था भाइयों और उनकी चिकलू की बहनों, तो आपके इसमें भी होगा. So IIT कानपुर, और ये कंफ्यूजन भी बहुत रहता है कि ये डोरा ऑफिस क्या है, एलुमनी एसोसिएशन है, और एक नई चीज शुरू हो गई है आईआईटी कानपुर डेवलपमेंट फाउंडेशन. सो वी आर दीज 3 pillars I call of engagement with alumni. One is Office of Resources at Alumni, that is currently headed by me. So this office is an administrative office. Okay, so this looks after the accounting and record keeping and other things, and also connects with the alumni as well as some corporates to generate resources which are required by the institute. We have an alumni association of IIT Kanpur, which is not associated with IIT Kanpur in the sense that it's an independent body. Okay, and it's a association to make sure that alumni interact with each other. It has chapters, and they also do lot of activities. Basically, their goal is to increase networking among the alumni, and they also reach out to you. And the third one, which is a most recent organization, it is IIT Kanpur Development Foundation. It's a Section 8 company, and it is dedicated towards alumni engagement with IIT Kanpur. So it's a kind of extended arm of the Office of Resources and Alumni. So it meets with people, it connects with them, and it also helps organize these events. So that is needed because, like any other thing, deans or our offices do lot of other activities. I still have to teach, which takes away a lot of time. So we need somebody who should be focused on solely on engagement activities. Even Alumni Association is a voluntary organization in that sense. So Alumni Association is currently, there are elections, so currently Mr. Rakesh is the president, and IIT Kanpur Development Foundation, it's a company, so it has a CEO, Kapil. I think you must, many of you might have met him, and he is also around, and there's a full team which I will talk. Kapil, there he is. Rakesh ji is not here, he's in New York. People might have met him in New York. Okay. So what are the engagement initiatives? The most popular initiative, which we are all part of right now, is the reunion. So every year, we used to do 1 or 2 reunions, but last few years we are doing 10 plus reunions. So last year we did, I think 9 or 10, where 700 plus alumni were engaged. Total, including family, there are more than 1200 people. And out of those 700 plus, 150 alumni were from my batch. 1998, we just had our reunion, 25th reunion last year. And there are few people's feedback. Okay.
Is that data?
Yep, that's it. And 2 of 1998 batch alumni, including me, 3 will be part of your reunion as well. So Saurabh, Jantu is already here. Where is Jantu? He's bunking. Not this Saurabh, other Jantu. And Chiklu is on his way. So he could not stay home. So this is this year's plan. We already had one reunion in November 1969, class of 1969. Now we are at 1999 25th reunion. There are I think 7 more. Our calendar is quite full. This year we started a new initiative called Distinguished Alumni Meet. So all of you know that every year IIT Kanpur gives these awards to some of the distinguished alumni. So in this particular alumni meet, we have called these distinguished alumni for a one-day workshop kind of activity. So we had one in Goa and another one in New York. So what is happening here? We are discussing with them the vision of the institute, how we want to grow, and taking these are successful alumni who have done well in their respective area. So we are taking their feedback, how we can improve further, what can be done to take institute back to its glory days. So 31st August in Goa, so there are a lot of fun also, and then in New York. The next activity that I talk about is Karma. Again, something which happened a few weeks back, but this is started 2 years back. We started with US, so we already had 2 Karma in USA, one in this year, one last year, one in Singapore, and one in Australia as well. So the idea about Karma is here we are meeting a batch, a specific batch, but in Karma we visit IIT Kanpur delegate, director, deputy director, few more, dean. We go to different places and have a dinner time conversation with them. So across all batches. So once again, idea is Distinguished Alumni Meet is a long-term thing. This is short meetings where we get feedback from people and also get to connect them. I mean, this is also like a reunion. Many people come there and get to know each other. So this year, Singapore, there were 880 plus alumni, and in US we engaged with more than 500 alumni. We had IIT Karma in India, first time this year, just I think 2 weeks back, Mumbai, Bangalore and Delhi, and once again response has been very good. We had to close registration in Bangalore within around 48 hours. We started within 48 hours. There is a capacity of hotel wherever we are doing. Mumbai also it closed in 7-8 days. Delhi took some time, but Delhi closed in 7-8 days. Mumbai got closed. Mumbai took some time, but yes, finally we had 180 plus in Mumbai, 230 in Bangalore, 130 plus in Delhi. So these are the events where we are visiting you. So please keep an eye on our emails, and now we are going to start WhatsApp messages as well. We have started. Okay. So what is the purpose of all these reunions? So finally the purpose is that alumni, we are expecting alumni to give back to the institute. And giving back is not just in terms of money, it can also be in terms of time. Yesterday also somebody was asking me how they can contribute, how they can help startups, or how they can help current students. So we have several programs. Some of them were old, but we have branded them, given them some name to make them attractive. So Alma Connect is where any alumni like you can come to IIT Kanpur and talk to students, interact with the students. Depending on the interest, it can be department specific, it can be club specific, or it can be open to all the students. So like we have few IAS officers, few entrepreneurs who have visited us. Sometimes we also have online sessions. So already we had conducted 37 sessions in which engaged 40 alumni. So sometime more than one alumni, husband-wife pair have also come, both of them IT alumni. So so you can see that these are quite popular, especially the one with the IAS rank 1 this year. So Aditya Srivastav, so his session was, I think it was in one of the bigger halls, bigger than this, fully packed. Then we have a more focused initiative called Alumni Inspired Mentorship, where an alumni can connect with 4 or 5 students for a long time, okay, and mentor them. This could be generally talking to them about philosophy, about life, about their studies. So we have 40 alumni who have engaged with us, and they are talking to 440. So nearly 11 students per alumni. This thing we have started very recently. I will put the QR code at the end. If you are interested, you can register. And I think some QR codes are also kept outside. So this is started in 2024. So here is the kind of overall view of how you can give back, resources. So time was one thing, but other resources. So you can support research and innovation in the institute through research grants or student entrepreneurship program. So now IIT Kanpur supports what is called student entrepreneurship, even deferred placement, so that if some student wants to try his or her hand on entrepreneurship, and if it fails, they can come back and sit in the placement. So those kind of policies have been are in place now. Community welfare, so we run several schools like Opportunity School, Campus School, then there's a Roji Shiksha Kendra for skill development, Shiksha Sopan by H.C. Verma, which trains teachers and students from nearby schools. You can support infrastructure, which includes medical science and technology. You can support new departments and centers, lab upgradation. So for example, 1996 batch class of 96 has supported physics lab upgradation and hostels and other facilities. You can support students through scholarships, awards, travel grants. There is specific program for Sahyog and other kind of career guidance, skill development and like that. And you can also support poor people like faculty. Fellowship, young faculty fellowship, new faculty fellowship, research grants and distinguished lectures. So there's a lot of ways you can support. And as I said, it's not just money, there are other ways, especially most of you now are at a place in career where you can tell what you did right, what you did wrong. What do you think would have helped you when you are a student? So, and students, again, घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर होती है. हम लोग कुछ कहते हैं तो वो एक बार कहते हैं अरे इसने खुद तो कुछ किया नहीं तभी यहाँ है. But if somebody comes from outside, they listen to them. So here is again summary. You can give back through annual giving. You can give back through batch initiatives. Again, this typically happens during reunion. There are campaigns. Ishan was talking about campaign for supporting space department. So there is a campaign on our web page. You can support specific departments. You can support health and wellness, specifically the counseling service. Again, one of the batches is supporting upgradation of institute counseling service facilities like that. I will come to this later. R&D facilities, and you can have plant giving where you can make IIT Kanpur beneficiary with your stocks or will or other things. So this is also possible. Magic is something we have started new, monthly alumni giving for IIT Kanpur. Again, started less than a year back. This is where we are tapping students who are graduating. Okay, even you can become a part of it. I think we'll expand it. But at the time of graduation, we are asking them to become a member of Magic, where they can give very small amount per month. So rather than waiting for 25 years and giving few lakhs, 25 lakhs, you can give 1 lakh per year. Okay, which is much easier. And if you do it 1 month, it is like 5 to 10,000. So we are suggesting 1 day salary or 1,000 rupees like that. Any small amount they can give through Magic. It's like an SIP which will grow over the year. So when they come back for their 25th reunion, their batch funding will be crossing your whatever you are proposing. So there are few initiatives which are supported by batch. So here is a summary of some old plus new. So IIT Kanpur Museum, gym upgrade. So this happened recently. Some infrastructure project. I talked about, I think, labs, physics lab upgradation. There's a maker space like a tinkering lab where students can go and do whatever they want. There are like TA 101 labs. No, not 101, 202 where we did a workshop and all. So those kind of things. Institute counseling surveys and other things. So as I said, as part of DORA activities, we are also engaging with the corporates for their CSR funding. And what we found that Dean R&D for R&D activities also connects with corporates. So there is a lot of duplication. We are also approaching them, they are also approaching. And corporates are also sometimes not very clear what exactly IIT is doing. They may know 1 or 2 groups, but they have no idea what other groups are doing. So we started corporate engagement this year called IIT Kanpur Samanvay, where we invited industry to visit our campus and had a showcase of all the departments. So every department put up stalls of their popular projects or famous projects or whatever they wanted to showcase. So this event featured 50 plus stalls from the department, and more than 50 corporates also joined, and we had panel discussions, we had one-on-one, and we had campus tours. So this event was, in fact, I would say it came out to be very, very well organized, as well as corporates also liked, because they were also wondered, oh, IIT Kanpur ye bhi kar raha hai. We did not know about this. So now they are very serious about engaging with us. We have some positive follow-ups on this, and we hope to continue it every year now. So when all this happens, your batch gives some money, or some individual donors gives money, or as a group of students give some money, we also have to worry about how to spend it. At the same time, there are questions about, is IITK spending money on what I have said? I have given it some money, where is it going? So we do have this donor reporting. So for every fundraising, we report, the reports are shared with the stakeholders, generally batch coordinators. So whatever pledge you make, you will also decide on certain causes, and you will assign few batch coordinators. Like 1996 batch, they decided to upgrade physics lab. So with these batch coordinators, we will regularly share reports. We will have some, tell them how much funds have been collected against the pledge, and also give them some reports quarterly or half yearly as the demand may be. Similarly, if you are supporting some project, their reports are also shared with the stakeholders. Okay, and we give the utilization certificates generally at the end of year, but if somebody wants, we can also give it at a higher frequency. So this year in 2024, we had total 335 programs supported by 261 donors. We have already sent reports for 320, so around 95% reports have gone, 5%. So sometimes we also don't follow any deadline, so we wait for the PI to give us reports. We keep buzzing, pinging them. And the nice thing is for larger projects, there are 70 supported by 70 donors. So for there we are, because these are larger projects, so our department can do better job of collecting and sending reports. So all 70 reports have been sent for this year. And I think UCs are being sent now. Also, if somebody has sponsored an award or scholarship, we have started IIT Converge, where we connect the award, the person who has given the award and the awardee. So during convocation or through virtual meetings, we match the donor and the recipient. So we have conducted 32 meetings this year, where 34 donors have engaged. They talk to the students. The idea is that when a student knows about the donor, interacts with the donor, donor also tells their stories, why they think this award is important for them. Many times somebody has set up an award in their father's memory, mother's memory, or someone else, and they tell the stories of their struggle. Okay, so students also get inspired. So these have been very, very popular sessions. We get very good feedback about these sessions. So here is an overview of the fundraising which we have been doing for last 5 years. So those who are from India should read this number. Those who are from US read this number. So this is rupees crore and $1 million. I am always confused. I take some time to convert, so I put both the numbers. So you can see that this is where we started with IITK DF activities. Basically DF come into picture in 2020. Since then, because the events or we are much more focused, and another reason is government stopped supporting us for capital grants. Okay, so now not a single building in IIT can be built using government money. We have to raise our own funds. So that's why we are now more focused on getting these support. So you can see 114, 182, 157. This year also we have reached close to 100 crore commitments, and some of that has been, I think more than 100 crore, close to 100 crore has been realized. So we are doing pretty okay, but once you will hear director's talk, you will see that we are given much more stiff target now. So we have to pull up our socks even further. Okay, so some of our major donors, I mean, many of these names you will know. There are most of them are very senior, like say 70s, 80s, but some young might be there. Yeah. Okay, and this is our team. So this is the DORA team, which is under me, Office of Resources and Alumni. Team IITK DF, you might, and DORA team is sitting here, this side. DF team, you also must be interacting with many of them. Some of them are in Noida, some of them are in back office, but I think some of the peoples are here. And finally, Alumni Association. So I think Babita ji is here. I think she is the face of Alumni Association. So as I said, we have started this new program, Alumni Inspired Mentorship. I request if you are interested in helping students, in mentoring them, today or maybe sometime later, just connect with this email ID or scan this QR code. There are a few QR codes outside as well, so you can get enrolled, and then we will try to connect you with the suitable students. Okay. thank you for your support. And feel free to write an email to me. My email ID is dora@iitk. This is the for next 2.5 years now. But there's karkare@iitk is also there. So both of them, I read this email, I try to respond. Maybe response will be after 1 month. So bear with me, but yeah. So, and we are on most of the social media channels. Thank you. Questions? Because सब समझ में आ गया? चलो फिर क्विज के क्वेश्चन पेपर निकालो, सब लोग अपना अपना पेपर.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Professor Manindra Agarwal, Director IT Kanpur, to kindly address the gathering.
Oh, अच्छा सर, हाँ him. Not notice.
How much time do I have? Am I audible?
I think I have switched it off.
You switched it off. Okay. Am I audible now? Yes. So how much time do I have? 7 में है तो 1 घंटा तो So, good morning to all of you. Welcome to IIT Kanpur. I'm sure I have taught some of you. Yes. Right? So I was a new faculty member at the time. Joined in 96. No, I joined. ESC 101 तो जरूर पढ़ा नहीं? No, not this one. That is a different class. But yeah, some computer science courses. Yes, many of you would know I've been here. Joined as undergraduate student in 1982. Not leave and did my PhD on the computer. Then was forced out. Few years, the first available opportunity I think. Been there since then. So I've seen the campus change and much of it remains the same for the last 40 plus years. And some of the things that we were in our time very used to about IIT Kanpur are no longer there. Some of the things are continue to be there, so bit of a mixed bag. And as director, I took charge 8 months ago. It has been my aim to and now that I got a chance to contribute to the institute in a different way, to my best. And that has led to some thoughts here, which some of you may have seen already. I've been sort of evangelizing it all over the world. But for those of you who have not seen it, this is the vision that I propose for the institute. So let's start with the good things about the institute. We are very good, still very good. It's even better now than it used to be. It looks nicer. There is actually a sound absorbing material on the wall, which will not have. Although this is seen. Not seen as well. It's even. Do you know there is an underground passage here? Yeah. Okay. So that's bit of it. The institute is creaky now. This floor also creaky. Old infrastructure. But our flora and fauna continue to be fantastic. They were more green than ever campus. We also have welcomed the effort on campus now. For more than a year, enjoying the hospitality. continues to do very well in certain respects. Our numbers have grown very substantially. You see faculty strength of 570, that means 600. Student has crossed 9,000 now. We have 15 hostels and more coming. Alumni base could be growing. Some of the departments have been doing quite well. So we will have you back across the world. But we have a problem. This is all good news, but there are still bad results. There is clear perception about the institute that we are no longer what we used to be. One of the reflections of this is the national and international rankings, where we don't come out on top. Another reflection of this is if you look at the top 100 leading actors, where they end up with, none of them certainly comes to Kanpur. A big change from your time, from my time. So clearly something is missing here. And this missing part gives rise to a lot of unhappiness among alumni, among faculty, and other stakeholders. And there are doubts expressed about what is happening on the campus. Are people taking good care of it or not? Is the research the problem? Is teaching a problem? What's happening? So one can come up with a lot of reasons for why this is happening. One of the things is why Kanpur as a city has kind of remained stagnant. Major metro cities of the country have progressed massively. So the opportunities and other things available there are a lot more. There is also, because of stagnation of Kanpur and also because of the professionalization of general population. So when a faculty member comes, the spouse is also often looking for a interesting opportunity, jobs, unlike earlier. And then the Kanpur loses out there. There is also as a, in terms of infrastructure, research, R&D infrastructure, I'll come back to it later. Kanpur is lagging behind major other IITs. If I look at 5 more IITs. So these are all reasons why things are what they are. But that's one part of the analysis. The next part is what can we do about it. One approach is, okay, this is where we are, Kanpur is or Kanpur is, it's not going to change. So we learn to live with it. Or we can take an approach, okay, figure out the way to address this. So I belong to the second category. Let's figure out a way to address this. If you think back and do a basic first principle analysis, Kanpur was, as a city, was never big. Of course, the gap between Kanpur and Metro was much lesser. But Kanpur, the reason it was head and shoulders above other institutions was one, because of certain computer science department was the preeminent everybody sort of computer science education originated from Kanpur. There was this attraction of that. There were fabulous teachers. So there were things which made us stand up. And if you ask the same question today, what makes us stand up? You will be hard pressed. We are doing well, no doubt, but others are. One has to acknowledge and give credit to other factories. They pulled up their stocks and started doing much better. Good, healthy competition, which is very well. But for our challenge is how do we distinguish us and stand out first? Because if we do that, we may regret the issues. So one has to come up with an appropriate strategy for this. And after having had long discussions over the past several months, here is the strategy I propose. It's a three-pronged strategy centered on one theme, which is translational research. Now, translation research essentially speaks about taking the technology that exists in our labs and make it deployed and take it on deployed. So that's a journey for some of you who are familiar with the jargon, which is TRL 327. We have tremendous talent on campus, and if you go to the lab, you will find a lot of interesting things that have been done and continue to be done. But the challenge is not just at Kanpur, but every Indian academic institution, that things don't come to the lab, onto the real life. Unlike the top universities in the US, they are very well known for both basic research and translation research. So that's what I propose, that we focus our attention on this aspect. Suppose we are able to do this well, then certainly we change the perception of the institute among common. Because they will see the technology that they are using is coming out of IIT Kanpur, that will naturally be attractive to them. Okay, as an institution that is doing interesting stuff. When you do translation research, we also get an alternative source of funds. Because when you do a technology transfer, you earn money. Which is also very useful for us, because these days, government is saying to the 5-year-old IITs that you are now adults, you find your breakthroughs. We have a lot of kids to take care of, the younger IITs. So the funding is primarily going to the newer IITs. And given a fixed pot of money, this is a sensible strategy. And most importantly, the location that we think of as a disadvantage will turn into an advantage. Also, well, if you are developing a technology and trying to deploy it and facilitate it, this is what very important aspect of doing translation research is to develop and deploy technology that impacts the society in general. Now, if you have such a technology and want to deploy it on a trial basis, in IIT Kanpur, we just need to step outside the gate. That is the very good representation of the society in the country. Metro IITs will have to travel a few hundred kilometers before they can find such a deployment. So we have a natural advantage here, which you can actually use the locational advantage. Moreover, the timing of this is also just right, because of course India as a growth story is taking great strides, but also UP as a state is focusing a lot on the industrial growth. Basic infrastructure and law and order is in place. Many new companies have started setting up their new plants here. Very recently, we had a very major small arm manufacturing plant set up in Kanpur, many others are now. So it's clear that in future, major industrial expansion will happen in technology related. And that's one place that the institution we can say a pivotal role in fact for this field. Because state, which will in turn impact the Kanpur as a city also. City progresses and many other things. So this is the key strategy. I'll come back to this a little later, with a little more details. But translation research, the good translation research, can only happen when you have developed good technology in the lab. Because if you don't have something to take out, it won't be worth it. So that is the domain of traditional research. Sitting in the lab, working with the student, developing something else. So we need a strong base of traditional research to build translational research. So this is the second component of the strategy, or the second strategy, so to speak. And finally, the teaching. IIT Kanpur was known for absolutely outstanding teachers, and a lot of innovation about teaching. We were the ones who brought semester system, relative grading. There were so many things for the first time in the country, and everybody found. But this is something we have, with time, teaching. We still have outstanding teachers, but the fraction or percentage of outstanding teachers is certainly not down. Many reasons for that. Of course, one is that faculty today is expected to focus a lot more on the R&D side, publish papers, so their time necessarily goes less. Students are also changing. Earlier, in your time, you have no option when you are sitting in a class, you either sleep or pay attention. On the screen or the blackboard. Now students can open their mobile, play with it. So the attention span is different now. So we need a different method to reach out to this. We cannot rely on this. So I propose to focus on this. This is the third aspect of the strategy. Now let me say a few more words about each one of these three. On the translation research side, it's not that we are at the ground zero. We already have some very interesting things that are happening. I'll give you some examples. Here is a center on cyber security, which is developing solutions and products. And already several of the products are deployed. It has a software security operations center, which is deployed at multiple places. It has a data integrity solution based on blockchain, which is got deployed in Karnataka. It is being deployed in Kanpur municipality, and many other things are in the pipeline. We have a Center for Development of Intelligent Systems, which is focusing on applying AI to find solutions to major challenging problems. I'll give two examples of what they have done. They have an intelligent grievance management system, which is today deployed in the Prime Minister's Office, Ministry of Defense, and multiple other ministries. What this does is all these officers get thousands of complaints every day on their report. And they can be in different forms and shapes, audio, video, written, different languages, different accents. Talking in general or talking specifically. So what this tool does is goes through all of it, makes sense of them, and identifies specific action points for the officials there. And this is very popular, like I said, is being increasingly deployed in different ministries in the government. Another one of their tools is deployed by the National Health Authority to detect insurance fraud, which is saving them more than 6 crore rupees per month since it's deployed. Still, compared to the magnitude of fraud, it's probably We have a very multiple groups, I should say, developing drones. And some of their drones that they have developed are being deployed by armed forces. Then you all would have heard of this med school that is coming up on campus with a super specialty hospital. Aligned with it, there is a significant medtech initiative which is focusing on developing medical devices, therapeutics, and so on. And that is also rapidly progressing, and we have several interesting. There is an LVAD device, which is a pump for the heart, and that is today reached an animal trial stage. Okay, so how do I plan to expand on this? Well, we created technology transfer office directly under me. The aim of this office would be this journey of TRL 3 to 7. Handhold the faculty, make all the necessary support available in making this journey, because it's not a very straightforward journey. Also, go to the outside world and find interesting problem statements and bring them to our faculty and students. And once we reach a TRL 7th stage, then comes the actual, productization of it. For that, we already have good setup in place. There is a strong incubation center where our faculty and students can do startup. They are already using this. We also have a techno park where industry can come and set up their units, working with our faculty and students. That's also the next. So then the product part is taking to the market part. So this, of course, requires a significant change in the thought process or approach of our faculty. Without their support, this idea would fail. So what I did was I made this proposal to our faculty and did a survey. It was an anonymous survey. Out of 570, 362 responded to the survey. That's about 60%. Of that, 2/3 simply said that this is a good idea and they want to try it out. So that's about more than 250 faculty in Assembly. And about a quarter said it's a good idea, but they are happy doing what they are. They are don't want to go in this direction, and the remaining said some are neutral, some are against. So, but this 250 is a very good number. Right? When I started with it, I was expecting कि 100 मिल जाएंगे तो बहुत, that will be an achievement. But with this number, even assuming, many of them may not pursue it further, I still have a very large pool of faculty who are willing to traverse this path. So that's a good beginning. The second component was the traditional IIT, which gives the basis to the translation part. Here we have a problem, like I said. And the problem gets reflected in this plot, which shows for the 5 old IITs over the past decade, the number of research publications per faculty per year. The light blue line is IIT Kanpur. So if you see 10 years ago, we were in the same ballpark, except Kharagpur was low, but the other 4 IITs were, even Kharagpur, all 5 were very close to each other. But now, there is a daylight between IIT Kanpur and others. And Delhi has really opened up a lead. So that's a bit alarming statistic. Of course, there is an argument here to say that we do quality work. So obviously, therefore, the number of publications per year would be less compared to Delhi is the most garbage of them all. Without disputing that, unfortunately, the first conclusion is not correct. Here is another plot of number of citations per faculty. Now, citations is a imperfect, but some gives us some sense of the quality. We are at the bottom here. So we are neither publishing substantial large number nor getting enough citations. So there is definitely a problem. Now, question: what has happened in 10 years or so that has caused this change? Now, if you think back, you can identify the problem. It was 2008 when there was OBC reservation on students. The government made a lot of additional funding available to the all the activities to build up infrastructure. For some internal reasons, we did not use that money at all. In fact, we returned it. Other IITs, the old ones, I would say, used their allotment of money to create substantial new infrastructure, including this IIT. Not only that, they also used the money we returned to build more. So we lost out quite in a big way. And then that gets now over, but these things take time to reflect on the ground, and now we see. So our research is a problem. So we need to address that, and it's easy to specify targets, little more difficult to achieve those targets, of course. High quality faculty, very good R&D research infrastructure, get large R&D grants, high quality students, quality, quantity balance. So these are all very noble targets to have, and we must focus on this. Now come to teaching. I already said that teaching requires, our teaching is, I should say, is not what it was. Now to address that aspect, I am proposing to set up the Center of CERT, which is Center of Education, Research and Teaching Excellence. The charter of this sector would be to do research in teaching pedagogy, come up with new methodologies of teaching. And you know the student composition, aspirations have changed. So adjust the teaching method to that. Come up with teaching tools, new teaching tools, and have, share them with all the faculty, organize sessions for the faculty to share with them. Also have, we still have outstanding teachers, to have them share their tricks of the trade with the younger faculty. And finally, for students, which one aspect they lack is soft skills, presentation skills, so train them, create sessions with them. So this I propose, again I proposed this to our faculty a few months ago. And this, whenever you talk about teaching to the faculty, start with it, because they tend to take offense. Especially if you are saying you are not teaching as a So the survey I did, I included this question also, how do they feel about this center. So the response was quite gratifying. 3/4 of the faculty said that they like this idea, they support this idea, and also they will benefit from it. This is most important. That is, most of our faculty are realizing that they would like to, want to improve it. And small percentage, of course, said that this is nonsense, which is expected. Now, if you say that, as director, if I tell our faculty that why would you focus on translation research, or why do you give more time to teaching? The first question that comes back is, what about our career? The standard career progression template that exists looks at number of good quality papers, number of PhD students you have graduated, what the research grants you have got. These are the typical parameters on which performance gets evaluated, which are all focused on the traditional R&D. If somebody is focusing on teaching, of course, the quality, the research will go down. If somebody is focusing on translation research, of course, the number of papers you write will go down. So their career gets impacted. And then if that happens, nobody will take them. Everybody will say, great idea, nobody will execute it. So along with it, I proposed to our faculty we create 3 parallel career tracks. Traditional R&D, translation research, and teaching. And the expectation would be that a faculty should excel in any one, which is something for faculty career. Now, this is also somewhat of an unusual idea for Indian academia. So I included this also as a question in the survey. The response was interesting. About 54% said that's a great idea, a good idea. About 40% said looks an interesting idea but requires discussion. And the rest said it's bad. Now, over last few months, we have had a lot of discussions on this. Created 3 committees, they created proposals, they got the feedback, they discussed it together. Now we have frozen and agreed to 3 career progression tracks. This proposal is going to the board on 5th of January to get its approval. Similarly, the Center of Certex, Teaching Excellence, going to the board for approval on 5th Jan. So these are all going to become operational for this. Now, finally, if we come to the campus infrastructure, I have briefly alluded to it earlier. We do need to significantly enhance the campus infra. We have 9,000 plus students, we have 7,500 beds, which means that we are putting 3 beds in a room of 2 and 2 beds in a room of 1 to accommodate, which is definitely suboptimal. So we need to create new hostels. We need to upgrade older hostels. Hall 1 is really big. Parts of it are falling down. We need to fix that. Similarly, to address all the students, more facilities, recreational ones, central library needs to be reimagined. There is a proposal to offer significant reduction in efficiency. And sustainability part is also something we must be well cognizant of. We consume on campus a lot more resources than the city. So we should have an ambitious target of a net zero campus. Hard to achieve, but we should certainly target that. Okay, so this is all the kind of the plan or the wish list that we need to have. Now, how does the alumni help in this? 4 ways. Actually 5 ways. There are 4 and 5th one is in the next slide. First is feedback on these plans that I just outlined. I presented it to a lot of alumni, collected a lot of feedback, and I use it to revise or improve the plans. The translation R&D side, a lot of you who are in industry, is your bread and butter. This is not as familiar territory for us. So help in that should be very useful. More engagement with students, which Amay already talked about, various ways in which you can engage with students. And giving back. Here the give back is actually money, it's not other parts, which Amay distinguished giving back of various kinds. But here I am referring to that one part, which I'll come to shortly. But there is a 5th way, which I just got added recently. In the QS World Ranking, the 40% of the weightage is on the reputation of the institute, which is collected through survey done to send to a lot of people. If the results of the survey are high, then your that 40% weightage parameter goes up. So we would like all of you to register yourself as a respondent to this survey. Here is the QR code, you can just use it to consent for the survey and then the rest will be link is expired link, oh gosh.
Maybe that's why we are not.
Before the reunion is over, I'll get you the right link. So please go ahead. Okay, now coming back to the money part. For achieving what I want to, I have set myself a very ambitious target of raising $600 million over the next 3 years. If you look at the breakup, and I am using computer science terminology to describe it, the hardware, which is the bricks and mortar infrastructure, equipment, labs, etc., with that division, about $265 million. Middleware, which is the setup which uses this infrastructure to enable things. Technology transfer office, Certex, incubation center, which I didn't talk about much, it's already there, sustainable aspects and so on, including hospitals. That's about $200 odd million. And finally, the major application verticals where the translation research we can do immediately. And I already mentioned about AI, drones, medtech, cybersecurity, and these are the two sustainability. We recently started this Kotak School of Sustainability, so that's also underway. And quantum is very new, but that we have some strong groups in this space to develop quantum technologies. So that's about another thing. Yeah. Some of it is already there, like hospital, we have received commitments from many donors. But if you look at the breakup, about 10% of this money is committed. I am planning to raise 40% of this through whatever means, so essentially from government and the internal resources. It was probably the super strict target for me, but otherwise it will be fun working on this target to generate that kind of money for myself. One good news is that we now have an RBI governor who is our alumni. If I could convince him just for one day to open the locks of the treasury, that will solve the problem. 10% of this will be raised from CSR, is a good amount of money. And the remaining half, I am appealing to alumni to contribute. This may appear $300 million for alumni, which is large, but if you have 43,000 plus alumni, so if you divide that, simple arithmetic translates to 2 lakh rupees per alumni per year for next 3 years. That's the and these are very specific, because Amber talked about very broad set of categories for donation. But here I'm referring to very specific targeted plans. And the ask is this. And I hope that I'll be able to convince our alumni to step up. Together we can aim to change the institute for better. Thank you. Is there a time for questions you want? Yeah.
IIT Kanpur consulting this reputation, why it is not part of the pre-eminent institute of why was it not selected as a pre-eminent institute?
It's the same reason. We want to fix in the top 5 IITs. So when knowing a bit about that selection process, the government didn't want to give too many IDs. So they wanted to spread the award to universities and other institutions. So initially they only selected 2 IDs. But then there was a lot of alerts where this is unfair, and so they say, okay, expand 2 more. And they stopped there. So because we were 5th.
When do we get the next shot at it?
Oh, that scheme has been, what I understand, has been shut down. Because it was a very targeted scheme, 1,000 crores. But you have to focus on getting into top 100 in the books. Now the money that came in, nearly I think all institutions, the way they did was they did a you take this one, you take this one, without a proper plan of how they want to achieve that target. So in a review, it was discovered that they are not reaching anywhere. So it was shut down. Nobody got 1,000 crores. In fact, somebody got 250 or.
Why did Kanpur reject the money?
We did not reject it.
No, they said earlier, we returned the money.
Oh, why? Some other time. We'll offline.
I have a couple of comments. So one about the translation research. So the IT companies are already going down the value chain in terms of high-end research. So if we focus a lot in translation research, which is based on local problems, so we will be solving a lot of problems of getting into the implementation for which research is already done. So that will bring down the time that is being spent on which research papers can go and be top journals. So that's one. The second thing is undergraduate education and teaching is a very important part of IT content, always been. But now we are having a problem attracting top quality faculty. And other talking, can you use the microphone please? Audio. Other top university. So I have 2 comments to make. So one was the translation research, focus on that. So the problem is that IIT Kanpur is already not doing so well as a high-end research, and translation research is about solving local problems. So we will get into solving problems which is very local to Kanpur, and that will take the time away from high-end research, which will lead to some, like the kind of research which you did on number theory, which has nothing to do with the local problems, but we got a lot of recognition. So that's one. Second is the teaching. So other universities, in fact, high-end researchers as faculty by saying that you will spend a lot of time teaching one semester, you don't have to teach the other semester, only teaching only one course. If you focus a lot of attention on like if you teach a lot, probably will push away a lot of guys who are thinking of coming to IIT Kanpur for doing research, but we may not think that this is a place for high-end research. So how are you trying to address those 2?
Okay, let's both have a very simple answer. One is not saying that everybody is. We have a large faculty, nearly 600. And it's large enough that all types of faculty can and should exist. There may be 50, they say, I'll just teach. Don't bother about that. Fine, but the rest say, okay, we don't want to focus that much on teaching, we want to do research, fine, that's also good. Those who just want to teach more. Those who don't want to just focus on teaching, they teach other people. There may be 50 or 100 say, I want to focus on translation. That's also fine. Welcome, go ahead and do it. And as you said, the basic fundamental research, high research, there will always be in a system like ours, most of the faculty will be focusing on that. What I am proposing is enabling other aspects or other domains, which by the way, look at all top US institutions, whether it is MIT or Stanford or Harvard, they have a mix of all. They have fabulous translation researchers who don't publish high quality grades. They are, both, what is that? They have a good mix, a healthy mix, and that's what we are.
So one of the things that is missing here is teaching evaluation. So is that the red line here, or can that be done too?
No, teaching evaluation will form a part of the certification. being overall evaluation. It's still
No, the student is still evaluating how the.
Yes, that always that happens. Unfortunately, what is happening now is that it has for convenience, it was moved online. Where you don't have to come in the last class and fill up the form, you can sit in your room and fill it up. The hope was that more students will fill it. The reality is that much less students fill it. So we have to figure out a way to get students to give the feedback. We are still working on that. Yeah, that always, that's the easy way out. But IIT Kanpur generally doesn't think they take mandatory. Even class attendance or so there is a resistance within me also to have that as
So first of all, I commend you on really this mixed idea is really good. And since so on the translational part, are you also thinking of providing some incentives in the sense that if a professor's research actually is translated into some sort of a company or something, then that person gets a cut out of it because that also motivates this person. That's for the first one. For the traditional one, what I feel, or at least I didn't see, and you are already thinking about it, is there's a lot of research in the management side which shows that for breakthrough papers and such, you need collaborations across different institutions. And I don't know what is the extent of the collaboration of IIT Kanpur with, say, other institutions in the US, eminent institutions. When I was in Singapore University, the way they did it was they actively encouraged top researchers from these eminent institutions to mentor the faculty here in those institutions, and that has helped them over a period of years to rise to the really top 20 in the world rankings. I mean, there's a lot to be said about rankings, but it's a reflection of where they were and where they, like, I have seen them transform over the years. So, on these two aspects, is it?
Yeah, so the first is already there. There is an incentive to faculty. That's already built into it. If you do a startup, you own part of the startup. If you do a technology transfer, the money that has to come, half of it comes to faculty. So that is already there. Regarding the second one, collaboration are very important. And the best way collaboration happens are individual level people talk. Institutionally, you can facilitate it, just like that you said, yes, Now, facilitation, we are trying, but facilitation has a component of funding. So, if you want to make people mobile, there is a certain amount of money you put on the table. So, within our constraint, we are trying. Today, we have exchanges with University of Kanpur, NYU, Duke, not Rice, and UCSD with discussions are going on. So these are already kind of pipeline already happening. But like I said, we do get constrained by how much money we can provide.
What ISB has done a very good job in the business.
Well, ISB has no shortage of money because it can charge very high.
So, listening to the talk, I think first of all, I'll commend you for arriving at the conclusion that there has to be a mixed track, multi-track career path. I think that's a very important realization. I think it should be implemented. I think it's good. The thing that I'm sort of worried about, and it's an easy question to ask and hard one to answer, is they're saying research is, so we are publishing less. We are also saying that in teaching we are going up. So there was a teaching versus research dichotomy that always the faculty always faces. So what are we saying that we are not doing enough research and we are not teaching well? So
what are we doing?
or so this, to me, this points to association, right? About who are these people that you're trying to get. So, and I mean, you could always answer that at the end of the day, look, we are not doing X, Y, and Z. That's why there is the best faculty isn't coming in here, and therefore the best students don't come in here, and that whole cycle. So
no, that's not the answer. I think the answer is more nuanced here. If you look at the research that is happening today and compare it to the research that would happen 20, 30 years ago, we are much better. We can hinder collaboration. One is the individual level, people have to establish that connection. So that sometimes doesn't happen. Even more important, like I said, this kind of work, unless it is promoted institutionally, supported institutionally, the faculty member will be reluctant to give that. We are about to do that. Other ITs are probably still thinking about it. So that
take for example the building blocks that you spoke about, right? We need foundational research, and then you probably can build further upon. Now the foundational research can happen in IIT, one of the latest IITs, and then IIT can build upon.
Yeah, a lot of research collaboration happens there. That is not plenty. Especially these days now, the government is also saying that you must join hands together to bid for some large IT project. Without joining hands together, it won't be working. And that is literally forcing institutions to come together. And you see a lot of that.
So I have a question, and if you look at it, the way you have created feedback for the academy, have you also thought about creating something similar for the students, incoming students too? Because you said yourself, the need of the students are changing continuously. I see that entrepreneurship program and other programs are being in place. But if you look at the way students have started to, think about their career, because we are moving towards the gig economy, not maybe working for a job, maybe a work, right? Just continue to do something. Are we not thinking about creating something separate, right? We get typecasted on your chemical engineering, you are yes, student, you are this, you are that. And that is very early in the game and very early in the stage. How do we encourage, right talent to come and explore, and then give the opportunity what they want to be, rather than being typecasted upfront? That's one question. Second question is that you have said ambitious target of $600 million in 3 years. I hope we achieve it. But what is the size of the pie in terms of the budget of the institute itself? And what is this versus the budget of the
Oh, so $600 million is 5,000 crores. 3 years. Institute budget of a year is about 800 crores. So it's twice the size of institute budget. So it's a very substantial addition. That kind of investment. And regarding the student, it's a very important, very good situation. It will stay on my mind, but it will require a lot of discussion for multiple reasons. One, we are still wedded a bit too much to that structured way of teaching. First year, physics, chemistry, math, these courses. Then we come to second year, soft courses, and then just way too much. Of course, this is a model that has been working, so that there is a reluctance to let go of this model. So that's one part. Second part is also the way the thought process of the students who come in. That's also a challenge to address, because they come in day one. They are already calculating what will be their take-home salary at the time. All their effort is to target it towards optimizing that. So this, their desire to try out different things is not very high. So that's where we start. I'm not saying that we just accept it as it is, but we have to figure out ways of changing this thought process. It's a challenge. It's going to take a lot of thinking and discussion to come up with a model, but I'm hoping that over the next year or 2 years.
So we'll take last question.
So you have some of these projects are very ambitious, right? I mean, and one of the ideas was reducing the fees. Why do you want to reduce the fees?
Why do I want to reduce the fees? This is the demography of the student world. I would say the center of gravity is people who are middle class families. Who need to all that have to take them. The law certainly now has now. Still go, but.
And how does it compare to the other IITs? Is it?
Professor, if I might, of all the initiatives that you have outlined, which one of those do you think will change the dynamic that the top 100 rank holders will start choosing IIT once again?
The main strategy, top eight. And how will that change? I think it won't happen overnight. But once the technologies be developed and deployed, start making difference to the lives of common citizens. So the students are coming from that stage society. They will know, okay, this is what we are using it from IT Kanpur. There will be, at least in many of them, a desire, okay, we're going to do something similar.
Employment opportunity at all, career opportunities at all playing a role?
No, I mean, this is our career, this is jobs after graduation. I know that this is actually a problem of mindset. There is far too much importance being placed there. But if you look at the median average salary of graduates of IT Kanpur, there's hardly anything. But it's just that somehow this thought has gotten stuck in the collective conscience that they tell you a government placement is better.
But that's the reality of it. So, location, as you mentioned, is the least disadvantage. Look at that. But that's a system problem that is it's a system that's bigger than the institute itself. It's a local, infrastructure, it's commercial and industrial options outside of the institute. So what are you doing to collaborate on
Okay, I should mention that. Yeah. Thanks for asking that question. I forgot. So earlier this month, I went to the Chief Minister of Jubilee and made a proposal to make UP a deep tech hub and also offer that IIT Kanpur will partner with the state in making this happen in 2 ways. One, we have our own faculty and students who are working in a lot of translation work is happening. We are focusing more on it. So that those technologies will come up. Also, we have a very large alumni base spread all over the world. Many of them would be interested in the same, helping the state developing them. So we will collect those alumni now. That's why I said, good that you asked this question. I'll just throw this thought to all of you. If you are interested in partnering, working with the institute, helping the state government realize its target of becoming a $1 trillion economy will happen only through the tech. Please let us know. I would say Shweta may set up a mechanism to collect the interest from the helping. I'm collecting this over the next month or 2. I'm going to create a detailed proposal and take it to the CM has really latched onto this. He has 2 of his closest advisors. He has given them the task to liaise with me and develop this.
Dr. Suman, I think it's a very interesting strategy, and I think it is much needed to we are lagging behind in the other areas. I think we also have one more advantage about the campus one thing which is very, very important to IIT Kanpur. And that is the airstrip, the ability to basically be able to fly and build the new facilities. And I think it's quite interesting because Ishan was talking about space research stuff. And I think being able to capitalize on that one unique advantage, along with the idea of, propagating things in Jubilee, I think that will...
Yeah, absolutely. And especially the drone. And IIT Kanpur is the best position, institution to become the place for drone research in the country. We have big tunnel, we have airstrip, we can design, we can fly, test, everything we can do in time to time. Nobody else can.
So, first of all, thanks a lot for taking time to explain the vision. The three pillars laid out to make sense as well. I'm sure a lot of attachments are interesting parts of it. One question that I had was, visions, multiple departments, multiple streams are ongoing. Is there a smaller milestone view that is available in terms of how you would achieve that end vision that you laid out for 3 years? And how are we tracking against those milestones?
Yeah, that is being right now as you speak developed. I am hoping next couple of months. Next couple of months we will put it up on the website. These are the targets, these are the lines.
How do we make it real and how then we can associate this vision?
So all that will be
achievable. That's what I was saying.
We'll share it with all of you.
I'm getting a few messages that people in the back are not getting questions.
Because they're connected.
Late government
We have endowment where
We have endowment. The total corpus is around
700 odd.
700 crores. But this is, most of it is already tied to specific initiatives. It is not a free endowment that you can use it for whatever.
It's not a general purpose endowment. Majority of it is locked in.
So it's already tied to expenses and
But tied to, let's say, endowment for money, okay, this can be used for the hospital. This can be used for the chairs, that kind of law.
The following question would be, as part of the raise, are we planning to increase the size of the endowment?
Yes, so we have a target of raising to at least 2,000 crores. Maybe more.
So Professor Agarwal, I think it seems like what we're hearing is from being a very sought after institute maybe 25, 30 years ago to not being desirable for the top 100, there is that decline. Is that partly a perception or a marketing sort of a challenge for us as an institute? We are sharing some amazing work that is happening that's not maybe well known. And how are you thinking of changing that perception so this becomes a desirable place for people to be?
Yeah, so that's, again, thanks for asking this question because this is already part of the strategy which I forgot to spell it out. Media plays a very, very crucial role in this. As you said, that any of the things we do is not known to the outside world. And until we do that, perception on the ground is going to remain an issue. Fortunately for us, two of our senior alumni, Shashi Sinha and Praveen Tripathi, these are 77 and 79 guys. They are in Mumbai, literally controlling the Indian media. So I have gotten them on board to as advisors for our media strategy. So they are crafting our media strategy and we are going to implement it. Hopefully through their advice, we can reach out in a much better way. And also, as a part of that strategy is that we have media cell. I am bringing them directly under me, so they'll report to me, so that there is no other bottleneck in their path. So we really need an aggressive strategy.
2 points. One is that Silicon India is actually very big and beauty government is also taking on that. And if I remember, government? And so how are you setting forward?
Yeah, so one of the domains we have proposed to the Jubilee government is semiconductor design and packaging, not the factory. Fab game is already gone, all gone to design, so that we can charge by too much. In any case, most of the money today is in design. Right. So, in the sense, most of the earnings are from that.
IT rates also.
So we are focusing on that. And in fact, something around your batch.
Yeah,
Your batch. Your. So he is already, we are building this company in Bangla. He's on the design side, design for the next generation. And we want to literally build on that, expand that, and again, we on it to be very receptive.
And second point is, I think that you are trying to diversify into medical sciences and also a hospital. Coming from medicine sciences, you have different cultures and approaches.
Just one last question because I need to invite you both.
Coming down the line, maybe 10 years down the line or 20 years, how do you visualize the problems or even the betterment of those cancers with that?
Yeah, there, this new domain comes to this own set of challenges.
One last question बस बल्कि खत्म ही करवा दीजिए.
But again, I would just look at the top US schools. They all have engineering schools and also and they are all, the faculty they work together. That's how you get all this new technology infusion, medical devices, treatment plans, therapeutic classes. And now, this is going to increase even more with AI tools becoming available, becoming so powerful. The marriage between the technology and medicine side is going to be very strong. In India, there does not exist a single institution where this is happening. So this is a great opportunity for us. From day one, we are targeting this kind of, so the med school that will come up, one, it will not be an undergraduate program, we only have a postgraduate program. Also, this postgraduate program will have a significant technology component. So that's, we are hoping to make that kind of it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for such an insightful session. I would now request Mr. Damneesh Kumar to kindly come up on stage, batch coordinator, and would request Professor Agrawal to kindly present a memento to Mr. Damneesh on behalf of class of 1999. So, thank you. Thank you. Professor Karkare to kindly present gift to Mr. Damneesh on behalf of class of 1999. Thank you, sir. I would now request Mr. Damneesh and Mr. Atul Mathur to kindly address the gathering.
So, I'm sure these questions, a lot of questions, that means that, we all want to connect with ITK. We all want to ask questions, what is happening, why this is happening this way. So this is good to see. And thank you, sir, for presenting up the future plan. I'm sure you would have little more detailed thing which you are working on. But I think this was good to see what ITK is planning. And thank you, Ame, for presenting how each one of us can contribute to ITK, not only, with the money, but there are plenty of other things which an alumni can connect with IIT Kanpur. So thank you for that. Now, the biggest thank you is to us, all of us here. Can we just clap for for us, please. So we have set up a benchmark for future batches to, it would be very difficult for them to cross this. I'm not sure about the official figure, but I think we are near to 200 here, including the undergrad, postgrad, who all came here. And if we include the spouses and the kids, we're crossing 450, which is a record here. So thank you all the spouses and the kids for being here. Now, really,
This is last year what our bets. So top is yours.
There
is no second prize.
So, yes, Aman, there is, it's a relative grading. It's a relative grading.
So I feel like Sachin Tendulkar when Virat Kohli broke their record.
Yeah, so last year was 142 alumni. This year we are 182. And there are, okay, I can tell these numbers are not correct because a lot of people came yesterday night. They did not register. Okay?
No,
They-
this is even bigger one.
Yeah, and 435 families, that also has increased. I see just two guys dropped the messages just now. They are in campus. One is Ganesh Kumar, another is Saurav Maji. So yes, okay. So those numbers is, I think, very high. अब की बार 400 पार हो गया. With this, I wanted to extend my thanks to all the ITK teams which worked for this reunion, which is DORA office, Development Foundation, Alumni Association, and all the staff members who really worked very hard. I know a few guys who have not slept in last 2 days, and they keep troubling me too. So really, really good effort. I know there is, there are few issues, few things, but I'm sure with our feedback and things, things would improve here. And the next, because the batches size are also increasing now. So in any way, that's another item I think you should put, that for alumni, now the batch size is what, 1,000 or something? 1,300. So like when their 25th will happen, the institute cannot host it, right?
By that time, I expect Kanpur to have so many good hotels that we will not need that.
Yeah, but we did this in our batch too. There were a lot of discussion on this that we should stay in city or everyone messaged me that we want to be in campus. So you have to build it. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, tent city. That would be the answer to it. Yeah, so, and then I want to thank all the team, volunteer team, which worked from our side on making this possible for us to have this memorable reunion. And then, it's been 29 years. It's a relationship of 29 years. We came 29 years back to IIT Kanpur. At that time, we all came to take from IIT Kanpur. The objective was that we'll take degree, we'll take job, we'll either, it was a stepping stone in our life, which the complete future built on top of it. It's been 29 years, we again came back here. The tables has changed. We are here now, we are in a position, we can support IIT Kanpur, and Amey has presented all that, how we all can support. So my request would be, let's be connected to IIT Kanpur, let's contribute whatever way we can, and make it, the question which are asking to director about ranking and things, I think there's a lot of alumni also has to do to create that perception. We had that, when we came here, we already knew that IIT Kanpur, there was the same way what IIT Bombay comes in the news now, IIT Kanpur used to be that, it's the best, all that. As an alumni, we have access to those channels which institute may not have. So I think it's our duty also to build that perception and spread it across. So with this, I'd like to close. I know a lot of people need loo break. Lot of people need loo break. It has been really long session. So thank you for here. Thank you for being here. Yeah. So thank you. Atul, you want to add something?
Not much more to add. काफ़ी फंडे दिए जा चुके हैं. I'll only add one thing. I think we talk a lot about money. We talk a lot about ideas. आज बैठे तो सब लोगों के 50 आइडिया हैं, right? But ideas are dime a dozen, right? What really matters is we have to connect and do something. Small, big, doesn't really matter. एक महीने में, एक साल में doesn't really matter. 5 साल में doesn't really matter. But if each one of us can figure out one thing they can do for the institute, I think that will go a long way, right? Rankings, all this thing can be like made up, but there has to be some concrete action each of us has to pick. Ideas really don't add value till they get into action. With that, I'll say we have only 5 more minutes left for batch photograph. So let's go get a good one and continue the celebrations.
Yeah, so 10 minutes break.
Yeah.
Utilize the, please.
Thank you, sir. Sir, before I would request Mr. Kapil Kaul to kindly come and give a vote of thanks. He's the CEO of ITK Development Foundation.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Damnish. Thank you, Atul. And thank you, everyone, for being here, for being with us, for making this gathering, your Silver Jubilee reunion, incredible and amazing. As Damnish pointed out, this is the highest turnout ever. You've set a record, and we really hope 2000 is looking at breaking this. They must be, some of them must be watching it on YouTube right now, ki 99 mein kya ho raha hai. And this is a benchmark for them. I would want to thank Director Professor Manindra Agarwal for coming here, sharing his vision with each one of us, which is very exciting. We're all very excited about it. Professor Karkare for sharing his address where he talked about how alumni can engage with the institute. A big round of applause for my team who've been working tirelessly to organize these reunions, both at Dora office, IITK DF, Alumni Association. Together, we are really gearing up for big things. We started off a couple of years ago with 100, 150 people turning up. From there, we are today touching 450, and we see this number growing. So thank you for giving us this opportunity. Our support staff at VH and other places who've been supporting IWD and others who make all these things possible. We're coordinators. There are several units within the institute that really make these things possible. Our gratitude to them. And most importantly, all of you and your families who've turned up here with us, taken this time out to reconnect with IIT Kanpur. We're really grateful to you and hope you have rest of 1.5 days of good time with us. There's enough to be done. I'll close the official ceremony with this. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I request everyone to kindly proceed for group photograph to L19 for area. Our volunteers will escort you. Thank you.
L16, 17.